everyone. Welcome to the Crew3 podcast. I was rocking with me as always are my co-hosts Chris and Ricky Jones. Say hello.
Hello.
Did you salute?
I did salute.
Because he saw the Raise Hail and Praise Dale, baby.
Sure.
Like, come back from that.
I don't know.
That's the end. That's the top.
It's
Good
no
podcast,
Ricky.
everybody.
Ricky just clearly hates America. That's what we're saying.
Thanks to all our sponsors and I'll always stand up and salute all recognize.
My dad flew a flag till the day that he died.
There's a lot of men,
Well, my mother, my brother.
There you go.
That
That is the Crew3 theme song. I don't know that there's been a car ride with Crew3 involved that has not featured.
Brought to you courtesy.
Yeah. That has not featured the red, white, and blue in a full-on karaoke anthem theme song along, sing along.
Or teenagers.
If you need to encapsulate America in a song,
Right.
it is courtesy of the red, white, and blue, the angry redneck.
Yeah.
The angry American. Yeah.
You nailed it. I don't think that the
More title for that song?
Yeah, it's called The Angry American, I think. Yeah.
Weird.
well,
Yeah.
There's no way. It's just called courtesy of the red, white.
Beer for my horses.
Oh man.
It's Google.
It's called there's a movie about that. That was adapted into a movie, you know that,
I
right?
understand, yes.
Yeah.
It's time, Willie Nelson and who else is in that song? Toby Keith?
Yes, it's Toby Keith, yeah.
Toby Keith and Willie Nelson?
I don't think Willie Nelson's in it, right? You're
I-
thinking Beer for My
I'm
Horses.
Pretty sure Beer for My
He's
Horses.
in Beer for My Horses, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Why are you talking about Beer for My Horses?
Because we'll raise up our glasses against evil forces.
Okay, all right.
Whiskey for My Men.
Yeah.
And Beer for My Horses, yeah.
There's also 5 O'Clock Somewhere where who sings 5 O'Clock Somewhere?
Jimmy Buffett.
No, not Jimmy Buffett.
Alan Jackson.
Yeah, Alan
Jackson.
Yeah.
Jimmy Buffett shows up at the end.
That's
Yes, and and the end of that song is just like them fighting over who gets the last lyric in the song.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm gone. All right. Yep. Yeah. See you later. Bye.
I'm going to Margaritaville. Okay, you've been had a few drinks.
Yeah.
I can drive the boat. Okay, just stay between the buoys. Yeah, that's
Right,
the.
that's navigational beacons.
What country am I? What time is it? That's enough about early 2000s country.
You know about early 2000s.
This is our
country.
second take, and the first one went the same way.
Everyone's gonna miss about the segment about doming our bros.
Yeah.
You didn't salute in the first one. You can't throw a curveball like that. You got a professionalism, to maintain.
Professional courtesy.
You got to tell me, like, hey guys, I think it's gonna be really funny if when I introduce myself, I'm gonna salute. So be ready for that, right?
Ricky, I'm a maverick. Okay, there's no predicting what I'm going to do. Everybody knows that of the three of us, I'm the maverick. Okay?
I also like
a spiritual individual.
Ricky is clearly Goose.
That means I'm Iceman.
No, wait, hold on.
Am I the Iceman?
You can be the Iceman.
Hell yeah.
You can be my wingman any day.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh man.
I never saw the second one. Is it good?
You never saw Maverick?
No. Apparently, it's winning awards.
Yeah. It's amazing. I don't know how you took like a cult. I mean, it's even cult classic. Top Gun 1 is like a nothing movie, right? But you just watch it and enjoy it. Top Gun 2 is like, wow, they turned this into an actual drama.
The day Maverick came out, I was with my parents, and we went to it was the same day that they premiered the Downton Abbey movie.
Ah.
So we went and saw the Downton Abbey movie.
You would.
It was great.
The Downton Abbey movie is pretty good too.
So, we enjoyed that.
All right.
If there's any other podcasts out there taking applications, I'm about to be a free agent.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So talk about
Everybody
crypto.
wants a couple of years of podcasting experience, Magic the Gathering player on their podcast. Preferably who do not watch Downton Abbey.
Yeah. We talked about the Royal Rumble again and how Logan Paul was won in an upset.
Oh, man.
But
Are we
Ricky,
legally not allowed to talk about the Royal Rumble?
We could talk about it. We just can't I just can't play clips of it.
The best part about the Royal Rumble was that a lot of things were sponsored by Applebee's.
It was brought to you by Applebee's. The Applebee's countdown timer during the Rumble.
Yeah.
It was the WWE pay-per-view made for us. Also the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Not the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. It was the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match.
the real shout out to that whole thing
Uncle
to,
Handy.
goes to that vegetable tray you brought.
Yeah.
After eating Applebee's with Nate the night before, and then all of your very similar Applebee's food after Pluckers, I clung to that vegetable tray for nourishment,
Yep.
and clearly was the only one because I think I ate half the vegetables on the vegetable tray, and
Yes.
nobody else ate anything on that vegetable tray.
No. I was like, Ricky will appreciate this vegetable tray, so I'm going to pick it up.
I appreciated that vegetable tray.
Oh,
We clearly are behind on the sponsorship. We need more aspects of our show to be sponsored. Like we need like Ricky's One Piece flag, brought to you by KFC, where you can get one piece of chicken for $1.99 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like we're clearly behind because like they're sponsoring the countdown clock. The NFL has the sponsored red zone, right? You can be like, oh, this is the deodorant.
Old Spice red zone.
Old Spice red zone. Yeah, exactly right. It's getting ridiculous out there. So clearly we're behind the times. We need more sponsored aspects.
We need the Totino's Pizza Rolls
Advantage bar.
Esports Dome or whatever.
Yeah, that's what we need.
The Totino's Pizza Rolls 100 Thieves compound.
Yeah, the Rocket Mortgage 100 Thieves compound.
Cash App 100 Thieves, yeah.
There's nothing says pro gaming like Rocket Mortgage.
I will say, look, we were making this. We do have a sponsor later on this week when we go to the apple juice break.
I'm saying we need more sponsors.
Look, there might be some of the works, and look, we're back to the negotiating table with Nate's mom. She's holding out on us, but I think we can get it back. And
I'm a big fan of Downton Abbey, so I'll bring that up and I'll say, hey, you guys.
Yeah.
I want to get one Young Gravy on the podcast. You know.
Yeah. Look, I'll tell you what we got the Olive Garden. So year one, right? We got the Olive Garden follow.
Okay.
I found out the official Buc-ee's Twitter account follows nobody. They don't follow anyone.
Sounds like a follow-tunity.
So my goal for 2023, we're going to get that Boosie's follow.
Yeah. We're going to turn our mindset into a beaver set.
Into the Boosie's grind set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
doesn't KFC like only follow women named after spices?
They follow the Spice Girls.
Oh, the Spice Girls. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they don't want to tell you what those 11 herbs and spices are, and how many of them are illegal substances.
How many of them are Scary Spice?
Yeah.
So much Scary Spice.
So much Scary Spice.
All right. Well, we do talk about magic cards in this show.
Yeah. Tell them what's going on this episode.
So this episode, right? Hey, for those that don't know, it is pre-release this weekend for Phyrexia. All is one. Or all will be one.
All is one, or all will be one.
Phyrexia
will
one.
Be. It
is that like
it
Pepsi
is being.
one?
It is.
All will be one. Phyrexia all will be one.
Is our being one.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate this.
So, anyway, it's a very convoluted set name. But all you need to know is, Dom, your bro, you got one mom.
Oh, that's a great way to keep track of sets and standard.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, new sets coming out. So, if you're a Patreon listener, we're going to have our top 10 episode, our top 10 debate coming out shortly after this episode comes out. Rick and I will also be recording the One Piece. We're just going to talk about One Piece for a bit.
Yeah,
that'll come out soon. And then that'll be a Patreon. But this week for everyone, we are just going to go over some brews. We pick some new cards, pick some fun stuff. We're going to take a look at some new cards, show off some stuff, and then, as a bit of a throwback, I reached out to our Patreon listeners and I said, "Hey, let's get a little Does It Slap action in here, and why don't you send us some of your Dominaria brews?" So we got some Dominaria brew submissions from the Patreon listeners at home. I felt kind of bad, huh?
Do you still have the music,
Chris?
Oh yeah, I have the music.
About how long has it been since the last time we've done It Slap? Does It Slap?
It's been a minute, as the kids say.
In a minute? Would you say maybe it's been a while?
It's been a while. What were you going for there, Ricky? You were going for that. It's been a while?
Yeah, I was hoping you'd catch right on.
There you go.
I was not expecting we would get the Paul Walker without and there, R.I.P. Paul Walker,
Yeah.
Can't wait to see him in Fast and the Furious 10. again.
Ooh, all right. Well, that will be left on the cutting floor for no one to ever hear or see.
You can only hope, man.
But you two are witnesses to that. What would have gotten me canceled? Probably. I don't know. Probably not. It'll be fine.
All right. So are we gonna play some decks here?
Yeah. Let's talk about some decks, and then we'll see. Oh, I'm dying.
Yeah.
You take a minute.
Yeah.
I'm usually the one that gets in
I
trouble
was-
here.
I was about to make another comment again, and that would have to be cut immediately again.
Oh man. All right. We are good people, and hopefully you're going to prove that by showing us a very wholesome deck that's a like favorite archetype that everybody wants to be good but just hasn't been good enough.
So I will say I cheated a bit. I brought 2 decks. I had a third deck, but Claudia posted a very similar deck list, and I was just like, can't talk about this deck now.
I made a red-black deck that Doomwake also put out there. I don't think he tweeted about it, but he showed it on stream, and I was like, "Well, that's literally almost my exact same deck list." So.
Look, this deck is like very similar. It's low-hanging fruit, right? But we all know I've been pet decking elves for a long time now. We aren't talking about events, but real quick, elves did top 8 a challenge this weekend. Nice. So big shout out to, let me find that player name. Medvedev, not Medvedev.
Oh, okay.
Medvedev was in the primary with the preliminary with it. Xbox Greg, who will also have an article on playing Pioneer soon, talking about their time with elves, how to top another challenge with it. So elves has been close, but let me tell you what, Tyvar Jubilant Bowler is going to make this deck a real thing.
He's been bowling.
So that's my first deck list. So let me throw it up on the screen here for the video watchers, which, again, sorry, we've had some busy last couple of weekends where I just have not been home or available, but video podcast will be back this week, so be on the lookout for that. So this deck list, pretty short, sweet, and simple. We're going to start with 4 Tyvar Jubilant Brawlers, and what's important is eventually it'll give all of our Mana Dorks haste to use their abilities, which is really important, and it turns a card that I have not been very fond of in Elves, in Circle of Dreams Druid, into just like a ridiculous value engine.
Right.
So not only that, so Tyvar like alone lets our elves pay for, or like Llanowar elves and our Elvish Mystics pay for the next one's Llanowar Visionary trigger. So we're going to keep drawing cards, which is very important. So the deck list here, so 4 Tyvar Jubilant Brawler. I don't know if we're going to end up with 4 Tyvar, but we're just going to jam forward and just get there, right? We're going to play 4 Circle of Dreams Druid, a card that, again, I was not super high on the deck list, but I think now with Tyvar, it's ready to go.
You can untap it, too.
Yeah, we're going to play 3 Elvish Clan Caller. This is kind of a flex slot. It could be anything. It could be more Visionaries. It could be Chords of Calling, even. I think with how much mana we're going to make on Circle of Dreams Druid and the fact that we can immediately activate the Clan Call, I think it's worth playing at least a couple copies if we can search up the other one. We're playing 4 Elvish Mystic, 4 Elvish War Master, which again with Circle of Dreams Druid, we're going to be able to activate really quickly and potentially even multiple times to give our elves +2/+2 and Death Touch until end of turn. 3 Jaspera Sentinel, 4 Leaf Crown Visionary, 4 Llanowar elves first round of the Pact, 2 Court of Calling, and 4 Collected Company. So we really just cut the Dwynen's Elite. That card's been kind of weak anyway in the deck lately. I'm playing Clan Callers. War Master is just going to help us go wide for us. And we're just going to fill the war with Mana Dorks, make a bunch of mana, and we're just going to bash face.
This deck seems awesome.
You picked.
These are going to all be in the description below.
Of course. No Elvish Mystic in there. You're playing the Jaspera Sentinel over it.
I'm playing 4 Mystic, 4 Llanowar Elves, 3 Jaspera Sentinel.
Ooh, okay.
So a bunch of mana dorks.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you want all of them you possibly can.
Yeah.
Yep, they're the Mystics. I totally missed them.
Yeah.
Also, Jaspera Sentinel lets you make any color of mana, so you can pay for your Tyvar.
Yeah, we can.
This is hot.
Why did you mark when you built this deck, you marked the Collected Companies were foil?
I don't know how I did it, but you know what?
It was the only card that's foil in here. It's just kind of funny.
Rick, don't tell him.
You're right.
Yeah.
Can't let him know.
Well, I kind of thought it was like
We're going to be crimping our Tyvars and our Shaman of the Pack so that we know when to cast our collected
Yeah,
companies.
remember, you can only cast a company at your upkeep.
That's right. Hey, yeah, I love this deck list a lot. I mean, Tyvar obviously is insane, right? Like, turn 1, Elf, turn 2, we cast the Tyvar and then untap our Elf to play another Elf or something like that, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's we're going to have a ton of mana dorks, and there's not a ton of ways to just outright kill Planeswalkers right now. Because this doesn't get Vanishing Verse, it doesn't get Fatal Pushed.
I think it's Dreadboard.
It does get Dreadboard. It does get Dreadboard.
What's the new white enchantment? Castification.
Ossification. Right?
Ossification.
Ossification, for sure. It's not that it's unkillable, but, again, 3-mana walkers, right? We've seen 3-mana walkers. Ricky and I were really high on Will and Rowan.
Yeah.
Right? What's the name of that card?
The
Royal Scions.
Yeah,
the Royal Scions. Just because it upped to like 6 or 5 really quickly and looted you. So, it didn't protect itself, but it was just really hard to kill that early. So 3-mana walkers there.
And then, of course, being the Julian Brawler he is, Tyvar just starts fighting stuff for you.
Yeah, he does not do that.
What?
He untaps cards and he gets you back mana dorks from the graveyard.
So we start fighting things, though, with them.
Right, yeah. I'm like... They just did not know. They're like, this card is called Planeswalker A. And they're like, I don't know. The Thor guy? Yeah, put it on there.
The guy who shoved Tybalt's tails into his chest and threw him off a cliff.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one.
As you do.
All right, so that's my first deck list.
Love it.
Chris, you want to go with your first deck? Then since Ricky apparently only showed up with one. I don't know what was going on there, buddy.
Yeah, it's okay.
Once I made Perfection, I didn't need to make anything else.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Chris, which one do you want to go with first?
We're going to talk about the Scales deck first, obviously. A couple new cards for Scales here. One of them is significantly worse than the other, but it's still playable if just you want to, or you want to do more proliferate nonsense, essentially. And the card we're going to talk about there is Evolving Adaptive. So Evolving Adaptive's mechanic is interesting in such that it says... it enters a battlefield with an oil counter on it, and it gets +1/+1 for each oil counter on it. So is it super great with our Scales thing? You could just play. We're playing Pelt Collector. We're not playing Evolving one. I think it's the name of the card.
Experiment 1.
Experiment 1. Thank you. Experiment 1 is the name of the card. So you can replace that, but we're going to mess around with this and see how good it is, because this works really well with proliferate stuff. So that's where we're going to start. There's 4 Evolving Adaptive. We get oil counters, and then whenever a creature enters the battlefield under our control, enough to cast it, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under our control, if that creature had greater power or toughness, then put an oil counter on it. It's just like kind of how Pelt Collector works. Pelt Collector, whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, if its creature's power was greater than Pelt Collector's, then put a +1/+1 counter on it, and then Pelt Collector gets Trample. Experiment 1's pretty cool because you can regenerate it. So again, it might just be a better card, but we're trying some new cards here, so we're going to have fun with that. Otherwise, it's a pretty typical Scales deck that you've seen me talk about in the past. We've got 2 Avatar of the Resolute. That one's a pretty powerful one. It just comes in massive. It's double green, 3/2, enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each other creature that has a +1/+1 counter on it. This is our best way to trigger Evolving Adaptive and Pelt Collector in this deck, and you might consider playing more of it depending on how the numbers shake out. Obviously, these are just brews. 4 Quarian Beastcaller, this card's pretty huge. You used to consider playing, was it the Ozolith that would help you move counters around? I think that's the list, Scales card that plays with this, but Beastcaller now, when it dies, you get to distribute your +1/+1 counter, so it kind of helps with that. So this is a huge value creature, and then again, whenever we cast a spell, we get a +1/+1 counter on it. Huge there. Scavenging Ooze is a 2-of in this deck just because it is just really, really, really strong in the metagame right now. You can target whatever your opponent's targeting with the Graveyard Trespasser and kind of get up on them. But obviously in this deck, we love counters. It gets +1 counters. It gains its life. Skoos, I think you could play up to 4 in this deck and it would be good. Obviously, in addition to our Hardened Scales, which we're getting to, we want 4 Winding Constrictors. You can also build this deck. You could probably build this deck mono green if you wanted to for budget considerations. We're going to play black for the additional Hardened Scales effect, that being the Winding Constrictor. If one or more +1/+1 counters, if one or more of any counters will be placed on an artifact or creature you control, that many of those counters +1 are placed on that permanent instead. That way it interacts with our oil counters.
Sure.
Right? So that's another way. So Hardened Scales versus +1/+1 counters, but Winding Constrictors any counters that we place on an artifact or creature you control, you get another one. So you do get more oil counters for your Evolving Adaptive. It just isn't not much +1/+1 counters. The other new card that we're going to play is Bloated Contaminator as a 4 of. This is the 3-mana 4/4 with Trample and Toxic 1, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you proliferate. So it doesn't get +1/+1 counter itself, but it will obviously proliferate across our board, which is huge with the snake, right? Now you're looking at 2 or 3 +1/+1 counters getting added, and that card's pretty huge. We don't super care about the Toxic. We do care a ton about the Trample, and obviously the Proliferate. The Proliferate can give additional oil counters. That's another way to play with our Adaptive. You're going to play 2 Rishkar, because obviously we want to give Contaminator counters. We just want to give counters everywhere. It's not a card you want a ton of, but Rishkar has proven its place in this deck over and over again. I've probably played more of this deck than maybe anybody else. I'm not sure of that, but I do love, me and Nate do love me some Hardened Scales. Then we're going to play 4 Snakeskin Veil. This is just a protection spell. You could play removal spells. You could play whatever you want here, Thoughtseize. But Snakeskin Veil not only adds a +1/+1 counter, but it gives hexproof. Again, a lot of other cards you could play here, but Snakeskin Veil has been good for me. 4 Collected Companies. Obviously, in a creature deck like this, you just want a ton of these. You could play more 3s to get more hits there and play like a Yorvo. But again, for this version of the deck, Collected Company, ton of hits. The last card is for Hardened Scales with 22 lands, which again, I do have fleshed out, and y'all will be able to see when you check out this list. So 4 Scales, 4 Collected Companies, 4 Snakeskin Veils, 2 Rishkars, 4 Bloated Contaminators, 4 Winding Constrictors, 2 Scavenging Ooze, 4 Quirion Beastcaller, 2 Avatar of the Resolute, 4 Pelt Collector, and 4 Evolving Adaptive.
I appreciate you being honest and playing non-foil Collected Companies.
That's exactly right. Now, this deck, I should foil them out. Hold on, let me do that real quick, because this deck needs the help it can get. So,
Right. Evolving Adaptive is super interesting. It doesn't really get the 1/1 counters, but if you get a 1/1 counter on it, you can like double grow it.
So that's the thing, is if in Magical Christmas Land, if you Snakeskin Veil it and you give it a +1/+1 counter,
right,
and then you proliferate,
it gets
then you've entered Magical Christmas Land, right? We get to up the +1/+1 counters, and we get to up the oil counters. So, Scavenging Ooze helps, right? Or sorry, not Scavenging Ooze, but Winding Constrictor helps with that if you give it a +1 counter.
Sorry.
Are you worried about Ricky's deck due to the fact that you are playing Winding Constrictor?
No, it doesn't players.
If you would get 1 or more counters, you get that many of those counters.
Oh, it has a second paragraph. Oh, man.
Yep.
Yeah, if you play Winding Constrictor and you get poisoned, you just double poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. That has not come up before, but now it does.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, because I was like, I thought this guy gave you extra energy.
It does.
Yeah, it does. Sun Cleanser is in this format, right?
Is it?
Like, you can play that card and remove all your poison counters, right?
Let me check.
Probably. Malira's in this one, right? Because it's in...
Malira's in the new set, but she stops you from getting them. Sun Cleanser is in the set.
Better Malira is Pioneer legal, right?
The new one.
Oh, is old Malira new Phyrexia?
Yes.
And even then, I think she says your opponent's creatures lose infect.
Yeah.
No, she stops counters, right?
Malira.
Counters can be placed on creatures you control, and then it also says your opponent's creatures lose infect, right?
You can't get poison counters.
Yeah. It doesn't remove any from you, though.
All right, right.
Okay.
But Ricky's bringing out like Sun Cleanser can. And Sun Cleanser is legal, yes.
Yes. Don't play Sun Cleanser, but
Oh, no. Sun Cleanser is target opponent.
Oh, cure your opponent. Save the world.
Save the cheerleader.
Yeah.
Save the world. Chris, I'm here with you. I feel like this deck was unjustly hated out with the Walking Ballista ban.
I know, man.
Yep.
This is Hardened Scales is definitely one of the biggest losers in terms of it got ruined by a ban that was not meant for it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Because again, if Walking Ballista was a card that you could play, then you would just play mono green or something close to it and just go the artifact version, right? There's 2 mana 1/1 that taps to put plus counters out. You've got Adaptive Automaton. You've got the other 2 mana 2/1 that gets plus counters. There's a lot of counters available in the artifacts things. Then you've got the new one, the Woodcaller Automaton as well.
Yeah,
That card's pretty cute. So again, you can play Artifacts version, and I swear to you, man, if Walking Ballista, come on, Wizards, you cowards, undo it.
No, you
Never.
want to ban
At this
Heliod and unban Walking Ballista?
Yeah, I want them to ban Helios.
Prisoner
Now that it's
exchange?
not making enough money anymore, just swap them. Admit why you did it, so I can be happy.
At least mono green can end the game then, without like having to go through loops.
Yeah,
Right.
Karn can still grab it just like Fraley's can, or Vivian, not Fraley's. All right, Ricky, what you got for us?
I've got a Poison Storm deck.
Ooh,
I think
They
I'm
did
playing
it.
the most Phyrexia All Will Be 1 cards.
1, 2, 3, 3.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. But they're all like 4-ofs.
Okay, yeah,
10 total cards from New Phyrexia.
sure, all right.
So this deck intends to do absolutely nothing if we don't draw a prologue to Phyresis.
Which
What?
can I just say, I love the Prologue to Phyresis. Might have my favorite flavor text of this set of just like do it for the vine.
Yeah. Prologue to Phyresis, though, if we get it in our opening hand, which we can find it, we can dig a lot. We have a lot of time. We have a lot of time to find it.
Too much time on our hands.
2 mana instant. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Draw a card. That's the start. Once we do that, it's on, right? And we do play Solve the Equation. I thought about going to 2 to 3 Solve the Equation to make sure we find Prologue to Phyresis, right?
Yeah.
But we've got Flux Channeler in the deck that says every time we cast a non-creature spell, we proliferate. We have Volt Charge, which will kill a creature for 3 damage and then also proliferate. We have Experimental Augury, which lets us look at the top 3 cards of our deck, put 1 into our hand, the rest on the bottom, and then proliferate. So we've got lots of ways to proliferate. And then we also have a 1 of Karn's Bastion, which is a land that can proliferate.
Okay.
We're playing 2 Baral, Chief of Compliance, just to lower the cost of our spells, so we can try to storm off. Consider for deck consistency and filling our yard. Fiery Impulse to deal with threats early game. Spikefield Hazard, same thing. Galvanic Iteration, we can just copy anything in this deck and it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically Dig Through Time, which we're playing 3 of. Dig Through Time over Treasure Cruise, so we can find Prologue to Phyresis.
This is the question, yeah.
Yeah. 3 Brotherhood's End main deck. We are playing 2 Divide by 0.
Yeah.
Mainly because it is interaction. And also it is it gets us another spell. Only 3 cards on our sideboard to grab, but also we can just loot also off of it if we have to.
What is our answer to getting Smooth Brained?
Nobody plays that card.
Okay.
And if you're a mono green player, or if your opponent starts playing red-blue cards like Consider and Fiery Impulse, are you just gonna like Stone Brain and go like, aha, Prologue to Phyresis?
They will after you somehow win game 1, right?
Yeah, after you win game 1.
They're naming Art like Phoenix and hoping that
The other ultra interesting card in this deck, in my opinion, is Distorted Curiosity. 3 mana, draw 2, but it costs 1 mana if our opponent has 3 or more poison counters on them.
That's what we don't need the cruise.
Yeah, like this card seems sweet. This deck seems kind of sweet. It is super, super reliant on finding Prologue to Phyresis, and so maybe I need to cut to 2 Brotherhood's End and play like an extra Solve the Equation, just so we can be playing like 6 copies essentially.
I can tell how much Ricky does not respect me because he is playing 0 Discover the Impossible in this deck.
Discover the Impossible is not a card.
You look at the top. Oh, my wife's
I got so scared.
A wee jump scare.
We just talked about how I was disrespecting him and then summoned from the abyss.
Is that like watching Skinamarink?
That was exactly like watching Skinamarink.
Discover the Impossible is definitely a card. We just discovered Devin there. You look at the top 5, you play a 2-mana one for free, Ricky. You don't want that, and I'm dependent on a 2-mana card deck, or we just get the card, by the way. If we don't find the card we want, we just pick one of the cards and put it into our hand.
So this is the booster pack problem, right?
Okay.
So you're telling me for 3 mana, I can look at the top 5, and the card that I want, if it's there, I get to play it, right?
Free, yeah.
Okay. Or I can spend 3 mana and get the card that I want, right?
And then you have to cast it.
Yeah, but I always get it.
This is true.
I'm gonna spend a little extra dollars and buy the singles with solve the equation, rather than opening the booster pack that is Discover the Impossible.
You're playing Flex Channel. Like, you have reasons to be wanting to cast spells. It also helps you fill the yard for dig through time and stuff like that.
Does it put all the cards into the yard?
No, but if you cast the spell, you get 2 cards to the yard.
Do we need a way to like flash back our prologues here, like to recycle it somehow? Like,
well, once we've cast one, that's over. Once they get one on them, right?
They're dead. The game's won.
Yeah, they die. Like, we don't need to get back prologue to Phyrexia. We just need to cast one.
Okay.
And then after that, they lose.
Yeah.
It's that simple, right?
It's going to be the only foil card in the deck, right? Like, that's going to look...
Exactly. That's how we do it. We got to wait for the secret layer prologue to Phyrexia to get printed with, Galaxy foil stamp marks of Mark Rosewater kiss marks.
With the spike going right up someone's butthole.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can't believe
that art.
Yeah, the reference, the nudity on the secret layer card, but this deck is sweet. It's like the only new Phyrexia deck I'm excited about. It might be.
Notice Ricky doesn't care about art decks, but
no,
Maggie. Okay, the elf deck is kind of sweet.
Yeah,
and like the other Tyvar deck that's like floating around has been pretty sweet.
Oh, the actual combo deck.
Yeah, the one with like
Vanifar Pod deck.
The Priest of the Old Gods.
It's Vanifar Pod, isn't it?
Oh, I thought it was just the Priest of the Old Gods.
No. There's a new like turn 3 kill Vanifar Pod deck that's pure copium.
Oh man, I love copium.
Ricky hates the impossible. That's what I've learned.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, we're getting the cat scritches right now.
Kitty scritches.
Yeah, all right. So good deck list, Ricky. We definitely like it, but I kept a stone brain. And I also want to know what you're gonna do when I drop Malira on you, fool, sucker. What you gonna do, sucker?
I was literally like, when I saw this list, I was just like, are you just trying to like just dump on my deck? Like, you knew that I was trying to poison people, and you're just like, better play Malira so I can joke that this deck doesn't lose to Ricky's deck.
No. I totally
explained it, and it does make sense.
Yeah. So the other deck I brought to class today, besides Ultra Lord, is a new take on Death and Taxes because Skrelv is my boy. He's in my hand currently. The camera doesn't get that close, but he's right there. That's my boy. This is Skrelv. So we're playing 3 Adeline Resplendent Cathar, 3 Brutal Cathar, 2 Charming Prince, 4 Extraction Specialist. Sorry. This is supposed to be 3 Charming Prince. We're missing a Charming Prince there. So, correction. We are 3 Adeline, 3 Brutal Cathar, 3 Charming Prince, 4 Extraction Specialists, 2 Malira the Living Cure, 3 Recruitment Officer, 3 Reflector Mage, 4 Skrelv, Defector Might, 3 Thalia Great Thraben, and 4 Voice Resurgence with 3 Kayla's Reconstruction, 4 Collective Company, and 21 lands. Now, I know you've been thinking, Ruckman, we're playing Kayla's Reconstruction and 4 Collective Company in our Thalia deck, and I say...
You foiled this one, too!
I don't know how I did it. It just knows, right?
I don't know how. I mean, if the store has a non-foil one, I'll buy it, but,
But so, look, Thalia's going to eat all the removal anyway, and we needed another way to dunk Ricky's deck into the ground, so Thalia helps make his cards cost more as well. Malira is just, like, really good with Extraction Specialist. That's really why we're playing Malira. So Malira's really the second ability of Malira is exile Malira Living Cure, choose another target creature or artifact. When it's put into your graveyard this turn, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So it's really cute with like extraction specialists. You get like a rebuy on specialist. You just get to kind of like rebuy any of your creatures that matter, like Adelaide, Brutal Cathar, stuff like that. And it's just a Watch Wolf. So we'll just take a Watch Wolf, right, with upside.
I really like the interaction with like you can extraction specialist back your prince,
Yeah,
like blink again, then get the Malira. The Malira will sit in the little timeout zone, and
yeah,
then once like prince and specialist die, you buy back the specialist and just do it over again. Like
yeah.
thankfully it exiles, so it doesn't actually go for infinite.
It's not a full loop, yeah.
Right. I love the art on this card
The
actually.
art is great. And this is everyone's theorizing that Malira's second ability there is how we get Jace fixed.
Yeah. Well, Malira is like in the story. She said she could like, oh wow, you're not fully gone yet. I can like undo that. And
But
the
you're gonna
Yuri
be
was
real
like,
sleepy. You're gonna be real sleepy for a few
yeah,
days.
the Benadryl is gonna make you a little tired. Don't operate heavy machinery.
Yeah, the alternative is you just become metal and throw yourself off a cliff.
Yeah, and the Yuri was like, yeah, I ain't got time for Benadryl.
We got stuff. We got a job to do.
Yeah.
I mean, like this deck, I'm less. I feel like I'm missing something here, and like as much as I love Skrull, I feel like we're still missing something. Like we don't have that big payoff. Like we don't have like Stoneforge right to go get like the big game-ending payoff piece yet. So like Island's kind of the closest thing we have. So I do love Skrull, but I think Skrull was another step closer to us playing a D&T style deck in Pioneer. I just don't know if we're quite there yet.
Right.
There's a card from the new set that I think is really interesting, and it doesn't have a home yet, but you could be close. I mean, it plays really nice with Reflector Mage, and it's a 4 mana common or uncommon, and it blinks an artifact or a creature you control, and then
Okay.
it gets an artifact or creature. It may just be a creature. I'm not looking at the spoiler right now. I guess I could. That costs 3 or less and brings it back to play.
Okay.
So it does all those things for 4 mana. 4 mana is a lot, but you get a lot of value there. You blink something and reanimate something, and I don't know. I think that's got to be it's against all odds. Against all odds. Exile target artifact or creature you control, return to the battlefield. Return target artifact or creature with mana cost 3 or less, return to the battlefield. So, yeah, I mean, pretty cute. Blink and reanimate. That seems like Aether's Sphere Channeler or whatever that card is. That's the new one. It's 3 mana and it has the choose one ability.
Oh, the like you draw 2 or whatever.
It's draw 1, you bounce a creature, or you make a 1/1.
Yeah.
What
Something like that. Something channeler, I think it is. But
what is the art of Against All Odds? What is that? Can you tell me what it's
is like a Tuskar looking guy holding a rod, and he's on a mountain of wolves or something.
What color is it?
It's white.
White,
It's 3 colorless and a white.
uncommon.
It's uncommon.
I mean, it's just a Lox. It's just like a Loxodon that killed a bunch of Phyrexians, right?
Something like
Like
that.
a pile of bodies next to him?
Yeah.
Huh.
He beat all the Phyrexians against all odds.
There we
Okay.
go. Anyway, I think that card's pretty cute, and I think there's some play arounds with that. As like again, we love blinks here, we love scales here, so there's some potentials there. I think.
All right, Chris, what's your last deck?
Last deck, obviously, I talked about it extensively on one of the last episodes, but I love Vat of Rebirth. This card, I think, is really, really fun. I think it yields like a lot of really, really strong brews that
Okay.
are budget or not. This is the deck that I initially wanted to make red-black, but everybody had the same idea where it's like, well, we can play Voltaire and Epicure because Vat of Rebirth is the new 1 black artifact, and it says whenever another artifact or creature you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put an oil counter on it. It doesn't say non-token, and that's where everybody's going wild here with blood tokens, treasure tokens, whatever you want to do. And then you can pay 3 mana, so 2 colorless in a black, and tap it, and remove 4 oil counters from it. And you don't have to sacrifice it, you just remove 4 oil counters to return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield, and you can only activate it as a sorcery as drawbacks. But obviously, getting to sack treasure tokens, creatures, right? This plays really well with Oni Cult Anvil, Deadly Dispute. There's a lot of cards this plays really, really well with, and there's a lot of players making some red-black brews already that I definitely think you should look at. Those being out there already, I decided to build a white-black version because I've been wanting to build a white-black Greasefang deck and put that in there. So we start off with our Greasefangs and our Parhelions, right? Then we're going to play the cat package. So we're going to play Witch's Oven and Cauldron Familiar. This is 2 points towards our Vat of Rebirth, right? So we sack the cat, we get the food, we sack the food, which gets, so we get more counters. So 2 things there. Obviously, we get sick blocks there. It's just a good value engine, and then it's additional ways to sack creatures should we need. For example, we're going to play Citrus Supplier. So Citrus Supplier, classic card. This is one of the only ways, unfortunately, we have to sacrifice it, is the Witch's Oven. So we're pulling double duty on that Witch's Oven there. Then for our Reanimator targets, we mentioned Greasefang. We're going to play 3 Ashen Riders. So it's 15 creatures, Cauldron Familiar, Citrus Supplier, Greasefang, and then 3 Ashen Riders. Ashen Rider, obviously, when it enters the battlefield or dies, exile target permanent. So we're going to try and get that back. The only way that we currently have to get it back is the Vat of Rebirth. There are, again, in some of the other deck lists, you're playing the 4-mana sack a creature to get a creature back. It's an uncommon spell. Not here. Here we're kind of, hopefully we're just vatting the Ashen Rider back. We're also not playing Wishclaw Talisman, to many people's surprise, but there will be a list with that coming. That could be mono black. Okay, it'd probably be a mono black version where we're more in on the reanimate, and we'll do shenanigans like that. So Ashen Riders are a big way to get stuff. Sacking at the Witch's Oven is cute, also, right? They go to remove it. You can sack it to Witch's Oven, get more food, get that dies trigger. We're going to play 4 Thoughtseize to protect our combo. It's really the only interaction that we have is the 4 Thoughtseize. No really removal spells here. Again, we're all in on trying to, as quickly as possible, get back a Greasefang and interact with our opponent's face, or Ashen Rider and interact that way. So 4 Thoughtseize, we're going to play 3 Can't Stay Away, because obviously we're primarily trying to get back our Greasefang, and this is a killer way to get it back. Again, you could sub this for the 4-mana card if you wanted to, but we're going to start with our 3 Can't Stay Aways here. So we're going to play 4 Blood Fountains. This both comes into play and makes a blood token, and then we can pay 4 and sack it to get creatures back. So again, if we're just needing to survive, if we need to do whatever we need to do, then we can Blood Fountain it back, and again, could potentially be up to 2 triggers on our Vat of Rebirth, which is the last card that rounds out our 60-card main deck. We're going to swap in 22 lands here, which I do have my preferred mana base listed out for you guys in the description already. So a lot going on here. And again, these numbers might change, but recap: 4 Parhelions, 4 Witches' Ovens, 4 Vat of Rebirth, 4 Blood Fountains, 3 Can't Stay Aways, 4 Thoughtseize, 3 Ashen Rider, 4 Greasefang, 4 Citrus Supplier, and 4 Cauldron Familiar. Gentlemen, does it slap?
All right, Ricky. Sorry, Chris. You see, you look at the art for Can't Stay Away, right?
Right.
And you see that cat in the frame, right? He's gobbling on. He's that's me when I see this deck. That's me when I see this deck. I'm gobbling all up here. Look, I do love the Vat of Rebirth here. Is really cute with the cat combo. And I'm a sucker for seeing cards like Ashen Rider see play, right? Like I've been playing my Orzhov deck. I've been jamming Obsidat, and it's like, the nostalgia feels good when I play Obsidat, and my opponents are either just like, "What is this card?" because they are Zoomers and don't know good Magic, or they are old players who are just like, "Oh, I remember Obsidat. Obsidat's sweet because they're boomers like us."
Right. It's a face. Yeah, I think the only thing that, again, is like you really might want to play some Deadly Dispute is that, like, if you draw multiple Vats, it's not doing too much for you. So, like, Deadly Dispute would be a good way to, like, sack off one of those and do some stuff like that. So again, it's just a matter of main deck space. I think the cat combo is pretty cute. It also is going to save you a lot of games with like blocking and stuff like that. But I think that you could realistically get rid of the combo, get rid of the cat combo, and play some like Deadly Dispute stuff. But you also don't have a ton of ways to discard cards either. So again, there's going to be a direction that somebody, I'm sure, in our wonderful patrons or one of our listeners, if they want to join our Discord or on Twitter, you can find me on Twitter and at me what you think a cleaner deck list of this could be. Because again, I've been wanting to make White Black Greasefang for a bit.
Blood Fountain is interesting. Like, is also better with Deadly Dispute because, like, are we really going to be paying 4 mana to sack it to get 2 things back from our yard? Like, if we just sack it to Deadly Dispute, right? Like, that seems pretty gas.
Yep. Or again, a Wishclaw Talisman, you know?
No.
There's a version that I thought could be cute where you get to play the 3-mana Reanimate, and you can play like more 1s and 2s. Like there's the Dreadmire or something like that. Mire Triton.
Oh yeah, that mills you 2.
The guy who mills 2 in ETB.
He's got Death Touch though, which is really interesting for combat because it kills obviously Shieldred. They can trade with Shieldred, which is pretty big. Shieldred's also got Death Touch, and so Death Touch. They Death Touch each other. They dominate growth.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I thought that recording died. What happened?
No. It's here. It's back.
It's back.
It died like someone else.
Oh my god! Stop.
Wow.
I didn't say it. We're
Never
good.
talk
We're
about
good.
anybody ever.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's take a quick Apple Juice break. Hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with some Dust and Slap.
Let's do it.
So, real quick, this week's episode is brought to us today by PlayMTG.com, your home for all kinds of magic you could ever want. From RCQ Prep to F&M Spice, they've got you covered wherever you're at on your magic journey, covering Standard, Explorer, Modern, and our favorite Pioneer. Playing MTG is the place to be to get on the cutting edge of Magic in 2023. Check out their Patreon, link in the description of this episode, for deck techs and sideboard guides from some of the biggest names in the Pioneer and Standard formats. They've also got a great Patreon community, Discord community, which is now open to anyone to join. Patrons do, however, get a little bit of more exclusive access to the authors of articles to talk strategy with them and get their opinions on things, the decks they've posted, or get opinions on your own decks. So be sure to check out their Discord server after stopping by ours, of course.
That's right.
So thank you to PlayingMTG.com supporting this episode once again. And
you're part of way too many Discords. You need to clean up some of the old ones. You need to get rid of them and get the ones you're really going to be a part of in here. So go ahead and get rid of, whatever, the Fate waifu phone game. Get rid of that Discord. You never said anything in there anyway. Nobody's helping you build your teams. Just get rid of that one. Come over to the Crew3 and the Playing MTG Discords.
Yeah, I need to get rid of all the limited league, the webcam limited leagues we did that are trying to scam me crypto now that Ricky made.
Yeah.
I thought I deleted those.
You probably did. I don't know. That was funny though.
Deleting a Discord server is very difficult if you create.
It's a hassle. But that will do it for this week's Apple Juice break. We're trying to get Nate's mom back on the negotiating table. I think again that the Downton Abbey sponsorship, the Downton Abbey lore will help bring her back to the table. But Nate's mom, call us.
Yep.
Were the Downton Abbey jokes in the original cut, or are they in the?
You're in this cut.
Or are they in the college remix version?
The timelines are too messy.
I don't remember anymore. Be completely honest,
It's look, I turned 29 this week, and my brain's now mush, and it's 9:00, so it's time for a warm glass of milk and to go to bed.
Ruckman, the youngest of all of us, is actually the oldest.
That's correct. That is correct. All right. Well, let's go over. Actually, Chris, hold on. It's been a while, but I do have a sound file here I need to play, but I need you to summon it.
You got it. For the first time in a long time, listeners, we're going to take you back down Magic Road to when things were a simpler time.
Yeah,
right?
The Paradise City.
That's right. That's exactly right. When Phyrexians were dead.
And the grass is pretty.
We were in regular time, not loop time. Jace was just a regular wizard boy, It's that time again, my friends, where I ask you, does it slap?
All right.
I think we had to cut 10 minutes out of that, actually. Check us out on Patreon for the 10-minute version of Chris summoning the Does It Slap music.
All right. Well, let's start off with the deck list. We have Gleeful Demolition from Servo Token. We're going to start off with 4 copies of Bomat Courier, 4 copies of Venture's Apprentice, 4 Laldaran Epicure, 4 British Emissary, 4 Reckless Bushwhacker, 4 copies of Gleeful Demolition, which if you don't know, 1 mana, destroy target artifact. If you control that artifact, create 3 1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens, 4 Voltage Surge, 4 Shaft of Blast, 4 Tribal Synthesizer, 4 Implement of Combustion. We got some Castle Embrest, some Mirexes, some Mountains, and some Ramanapa Ruins. So we're just going to play all the kinds of sack artifact effects. It's cheap artifact cards here. What do you think? Does it slap?
This deck is actually popping off in Modern right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like legitimately, this deck, like I think it's called 8 Blast, right? It
Yep.
plays like Galvanic Blast and Shrapnel Blast, and it's just like Epicures and Bomat Couriers and stuff like that, and just
Okay.
like Experimental Synthesizers, like the big one. That's the card that's like
Yeah.
huge. So like this deck, I think is kind of real. And if there's a mono red deck to come back, it's gonna have to play Shrapnel Blast because it has to kill Shieldred somehow.
Uh-huh.
So I'm into this.
Do we
I'm
need
into
like
this.
do we need more ways to make our like 1/1s into threats besides just the 4 bushwhacker here? I feel like we have castle, I guess.
It's fine. Gleeful Demolition makes 3 dudes.
Yeah.
Like you have Reckless Bushwhacker, you have Castle. Like, what more do you
Sure.
want?
All right.
There's
All
is
right.
there one that gives all your other guys +1/+0?
No. Legion Loyalist gives all your guys trample and can't be blocked by creature
And
tokens.
first strike.
Also interesting, Mirex actually really good in this deck. The 1/1 with Toxic 1 still attacks for 1 damage.
Yes, it
Uh,
does.
do not forget that the Toxic 1 creatures still deal damage to you.
That is a good word of advice here. But so we're doing pretty good on the slappage here.
Yeah,
Dude,
I want
I
to.
think this one's like top tier. I like this one a lot.
Pretty great. I either want to like make this more goblin-y, or something like that, because like the Gleeful Devotion, if we're playing that, it makes goblins, which I think is a little bit of a missed opportunity here. And then I have a version of this deck that I don't have up, that I know is a little bit different, and I can't remember why. I know it's not playing. Oh, because we're playing black is why. This is mono red, which I think is really really good, because obviously this is super super budget, which I think is another factor that gives Servo the budget guru top tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
Doing
much is
nothing
this deck in
change about this.
paper?
$46.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you wanted to make this not budget, you would probably go black and start playing like Deadly Disputes, and Oni Cult Anvil is a huge one. That's kind of where I was at with this, just because again, you get a lot of
Sure.
ways to do some cute stuff there.
Infamously expensive card, Oni Cult Anvil.
Yeah, well, you would play
Yeah, like the dual lands and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, dual lands, and then the devil that copies himself,
Yeah, Mayhem Double. Oh,
Mayhem,
No,
Mayhem.
and then
obvious
the
list.
Planeswalker is what I was thinking. So
Yeah. All right. Well, Servo actually submitted 2 deck lists here. So
cheating this time.
look, the rare we allowed double smiths in this.
Oh my god, I can't. The price, guys, it's $300.
The price is $300. This is very unservo deck list, but it's hammer time. So we
It
got
is.
1 Gigant the Wellspring as your companion. We're playing 3 Ornithopter, 4 Fervent Champion, 4 Skrell Defector Might. So I'm already sold this deck list. 4 Ingenious Smith, 3 SRAM Senior Edificer, 3 Colossal Hammer, 4 Portable Hole, 4 Springleaf Drum, 2 Blade Hold War Whip, 1 Maul of the Skyclaves, 2 Sword of Fortune Frontier, 4 Sigarda's Aid, 3 Fighter Class. My only question is, where are the Kembas at?
I like the heart in this deck.
Yeah?
I like where the head is at, right? However, I have somebody who is in my Pioneer testing group who has been testing Pioneer Hammer Time. And like
And the verdict says?
this is not it.
Oh, he's not the father? He's not the father?
This does not kill on turn 2.
Oof.
And the Pioneer version of Hammer Time can, in Magical Christmas Land, kill you on turn 2. And
because is it playing the new
it's playing the Scamp, and it's playing Resolute.
Yes.
So, I'm looking at this list and I see like a lot of the pieces are here, but this seems way less likely that we're ever going to attach a hammer.
Yeah.
But I like it. I don't dislike it. I like the Plan B Ceram and a ton of equipments.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Ingenious Smith. I like Skrev. Skrev is good. Skrelv.
Skrelv.
We'll have to determine how that's pronounced when we meet in the Shadow Council, of course.
Yes.
Fighter class is seeing play in the like that card's really good. Just like play it, tutor for your Colossus Hammer.
Yeah, it's poor man's Urza Saga.
Exactly, right? It's just like it just has more relevant text than Open the Armory does. So it's just like, why would you not play this over? Yeah. So
All right.
I think this is still a good deck,
Yeah,
but I
I think it's
definitely
pretty
am way
good.
more into Gleeful Demolition.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move on from Servo, and we have another deck submission here. This comes from Kevman, who says every Gruul deck is a combo deck. We're playing 4 Elvish Mystic, 4 Llanowar Elves, 2 Armored Scrap Gorger, 4 Bone Crusher Giant, 4 Lovestruck Beast, 4 Miglaws Maze Crusher, 4 Solfim Mayhem Dominus, 2 Cinder Slash Ravager, 4 Filigree Silex, 4 Urbrask Forge. Now the combo here is
I've seen
turn
this.
1, you play Copline Gorge. Turn 2, play Gorge, play Silex. Turn 3, play Monument.
Yeah, Monumental Facade.
Monumental Facade.
Play the
Play Miglaws. Tap Silex for a counter. Turn 4, play Monument, play Solfim. Remove 10 oil counters, 1 Silex, 2 from each monument, 5 Miglaws for 10 damage, double by Solfim.
hold on. What Sulfims are how much?
Wow.
Okay. The
Price.
oil slick foils are currently $144. Can I get a real price check on this card, please?
Yeah, Solfim, Mayhem Dominus. Regular art Solfim is $20.
Okay, all right. I was like, I was just looking at
Foil
that
stick foil is 150.
$579. It's just like, oh man, big ballin' over here. I don't believe Kevman did that as a mistake. I think Kevman believes that if you don't play the oil slick foils, you're not really playing the deck. So
Yeah,
I respect that.
yeah. I will call the judgment Yukoko to that, though.
Right.
A lot of these great cost for me.
Everything is. This is pretty funny. I like this deck.
Yeah, this deck is sweet. All right, moving on.
You guys want to give it a slap rating? Let's go back in time.
Oh, we have. You're right. We didn't give slap ratings.
I'm gonna give this deck 6 out of 10 oil counters.
Gleeful Domination.
Yeah, Gleeful Demolition. I'm gonna give 3 Gleeful Demolition tokens, or 2 Demolition tokens out of 3.
I'm gonna give 5 out of 5 Shrapnel Blast damage.
Okay.
Give it 48 of the $49 it costs.
I'm gonna give the Colossus Hammer deck 4 reduced equip cost out of its 8 total equip cost.
Right, yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've got a better one than that one, to be honest with you. I'm gonna give it a monk class out of the ranking scale of the class cards.
I'm gonna give this one a vehicles you control have Crew3 out of the 3 abilities on Astor, Bearer of Blades.
Okay. I don't even remember that card being printed. Let's see here. I'm gonna give this a 3. I'm gonna give every Gruul deck's combo deck a 3/3 Armored Scrap Gorger.
I
already gave it to oil counters.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this a oil counters was the best one. I don't know. I'm gonna give this 3 Cinder Slash Ravagers way up.
Way up. All right. Next deck is from Bridger, who, of course, brings us Bedrock. Call him Mr. Flintstone.
Oh, man.
He's to make your Bedrock. All right, we'll start with 1 Merfolk Branch Walker, 3 Misery Shadow, 3 Tenacious Underdog, 3 Glissa Sunslayer, 4 Graveyard Trespasser, 3 Shield of the Apocalypse, 4 Fatal Push, 4 Thoughtseize, 2 Abrupt Decay, 1 Assassin Trophy, 1 Sign in Blood, 1 Sword of Fortune Frontier, 4 Seeker's Chariot, 2 Ranger class, and some lands here.
I'm not sure that we need to play 24 lands, but maybe. We do want to cast a couple 4s, but
I just want to beat everybody to giving this deck a 4 out of 5. Shieldred, the Apocalypse.
Nah, baby, this is getting a 3 out of 3 Glissa the Sunslayer, baby.
So I think this deck is like the green. I like it. I like the idea of it. And when Fable gets banned, this will be a very real deck.
Yeah.
And I think that until Fable is banned, then unfortunately this deck is going to be like regulated to tier 2.
Glissa destroys Fable, man.
She does destroy Fable if she gets through.
And she will. We're already going to block. She's First Strike Death Touch.
I like Glissa. I really do.
And I cannot lie.
But uh, you know, I think Taylor Swift released the best album all year. You know,
Sure. I'm not feeling this one of Merfolk Branchwalker.
Yeah, that's the weird thing.
Like,
Play
I'd
a
rather just I'd
or
rather
the,
just double up on the Sign in Blood or just play like, man, even the Sign in Bloods, like they could maybe just be Phyrexian arenas. Like
no,
I
we're playing
I want, yeah, I don't know. I want more consistent card advantage than just like the 3 Glissa, right?
Ranger class.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want more cards in my hand so I can pitch them to Graveyard Trespasser. That's the big thing. You got to kill Graveyard Trespasser.
You're out of your mind. First of all, this deck is insane. Thank you, Bridger. I love this deck.
No, this deck is great. I'm just saying I don't like the one of Merfolk Branchwalker. We could just play a second Sign in Blood. I just want to be drawing cards to keep triggering our Shieldreds.
Yeah, there's
If you
a
ever
couple
equip-
things we got to clean up. We don't want this Merfolk Branchwalker. I think that could have been either an oversight or a misclick or something. We don't want the Sign in Blood. We've got Glissas. We've got Ranger classes. By the way, Ranger classes are 50 cents. This card is still insane. It also plays really well with a Scales deck should you want to. But just in general, this card's very, very, very strong. 4 mana, we get to cast spells from the top of our deck, which is pretty insane. We're good to play Chariots, right? You can play boats.
It's 8 mana. We can start playing spells at the top of our deck.
All right, I'm sure. I'm just saying, like, the second activation is pretty good anyway, right? Like, we got nothing to do with our mana. That's the problem with some of these Gruul decks, because, like, a lot of times you're playing elves, and elves, I think, is something that you probably could or should be playing. If you don't want to play whatever else, then cut the Sign in Bloods, cut the Branchwalkers. I think you could cut 2 more of some random thing, either 1 land, and then
no, because like it's kind of the man count, the land count is a holdover from like Rakdos. So I like 24. You like Rakdos is playing 25, but it can filter with Fable, right? You like getting to 4 or 5 mana is very important. So I don't think I'd cut under 24 lands this deck.
See, I want to cut 1 to get to 4 elves, because then we can cut a Walker, a Sign in Blood, an Assassin's Trophy, and then play 4 elves.
I don't think just playing 4 elves is worth. I think if we're going to play elves, we're going to play all 8. Like I don't know if 4 elves is worth.
Plenty of people would disagree with you. I think the 4 elves is a mainstay. We didn't always have 8 elves to play. You know what I'm saying? We ain't been rocking these 8 elves for all of time. Yeah. You know,
I just
play 4 elves.
I just don't know what you're cutting though. Like you're not cutting any of the other 2 drops because Tenacious Underdog is very good. Misery Shadow is very important in this format right now.
I just told you what we're cutting. We're cutting. I don't want to play the 8 elves. Like I just either want to play the 4, or we can play again. We could cut Walker, Sign in Blood, cut no lands, and play like 2 or 3 Skoos, because Skoos again is really, really insane right now. May not always be, but
you have Trespass already though.
What's that?
You've Trespass already though. Like, I don't think we need Skoos.
Shadow.
We need Skoos.
Shadow.
I just want to say, if you get this Sword of Fortune Frontier on Shieldred, I will cry. That's all. That's the end of that sentence. Please don't.
Ricky, it's time to play Unsubstantiate so you can bounce Shieldred.
I don't want to play Brazen Borrower, but I'm thinking about it more and more every day. If you put this Sword of Fortune Frontier on the Shieldred, it becomes unkillable, and I lose the game.
Again, play Chris's favorite card, Unsubstantiate, and have fun. Chris is ignoring me and just mentioning Unsubstantiate.
Just ignoring you and Unsubstantiate.
Anyways, I like this deck. I will give this 4 Apocalypses out of 5.
I'm 3/3 Glissa right here, baby. I
think that's pretty accurate there. I'm gonna give this like 19 out of 20 mana spent on the Meat Hook Massacre. In the sideboard.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I think we got 1 or 2 deck lists left. Yeah, we got 2 left. This one comes from Amal, who sends us Dimir Poison Control.
I'm interested.
We are playing 3 Narset Part of Veils, 3 Vaska Betrayal Sting, 4 Fatal Push, 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Bring the Ending, 2 Drown and Ichor, 2 Experimental Augury, 4 Prologue, 2 Phyresis, 2 Reject Imperfection, 2 Vraska's Fall, 2 Memory Deluge, 3 Ritual and Soot, and 25 lands.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Ritual of Soot is the best card you could be playing right now.
What
Mono white does not do anything against it. They just lose.
do you think? How does this stack up to your combo deck, Ricky?
So, like me, you can't give them a poison counter unless you find a Prologue to Phyrexia
Yeah.
or a Vraska's Fall. So you're playing 6 copies of the card that start your win condition.
Uh-huh.
However, I like this deck. I think that like Drown and Ichor is like real clunky.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a card that I thought about quite a bit because I was like, do I go blue-red for my Poison Storm deck so I can play Vraska's Fall and Drown in Ichor? But like Drown in Ichor being a sorcery for 2 mana, it just felt so clunky.
Oh, it is a sorcery. Yeah. If it was an instant, I think this card's a banger.
I agree. But I do like this deck quite a bit. Reject Imperfection is a card I also looked at. Counter target spell, and then if it was 3 or less, then you proliferate.
Uh-huh.
But I liked the bounce spell more, the 2 mana bounce spell, and like if you bounce something that costs 3 or less, you get to proliferate.
Yeah. What do you think of Bring the Ending?
That card's really close to being good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that card is like super close to being.
How far are we from getting actual just counterspell in Pioneer? Do you think we're going to see it one day? Never.
No.
Do you think we're going to get Mana Leak at some point?
Maybe.
I think strong maybe.
I think high maybe on the Mana Leak.
All right. So where are we at on Dimir Poison Control?
Dimir Poison Control. I'll give this a completed 4 starting loyalty out of the total 6 possible starting loyalty on Vraska Betrayal Sting.
Okay. Chris, what do you got?
I'm going to give it another Planeswalker thing. I'm going to give it 3 of the 5 starting loyalty for Narset.
I'm also going to Planeswalker. I'm going to say 3 out of the 4 starting loyalty of Sorin Sad Boy because he won't get to fight Nahiri now.
Oh.
He probably will, actually.
That's the best plot line, and they just threw it away.
Yeah, well, now he gets to fight her, and she's a Phyrexian.
Maybe.
Or
maybe she's not. Maybe the blue Gatorade saves everybody.
The blue Gatorade. The salty taste of the blue Gatorade. All right, last Crew3 submission, and this is from Mild Crow, who is giving us Atraxa Transmog. So we got 2 Luca Coppercoat Outcast, 3 Atraxa Grand Unifier, 2 Strangle, 4 Transmogrify, 5 Prior Fire Prophecy, 2 Spell Pierce, 4 Courier's Briefcase, 4 Seeker's Chariot, 4 Fable the Mirror Breaker, 4 Fires of Invention, and 3 Shark Typhoon. What do you think? Is Atraxa here enough value?
I think this is fine. I mean, I think if you want to be Atraxing, this is pretty cute, right? I mean, we've got a good mix of enchantments, artifacts, sorceries, instants.
Oh, Ricky's got to preach.
I give this deck a battle out of the however number of card types you can get off of Atraxa.
Yeah.
I like this. I like transmogrifying into Atraxa. It is a 7/7 Flying Vigilance Death Touch Lifelink that will draw us probably 3 cards, right? 4 cards, right?
Sure.
Land is one of them, right? So we're going to get a land, a sorcery, an instant, an artifact. Oh, and an enchantment. Yeah. Probably not going to get a planeswalker or a creature, right?
Yeah.
I don't think this deck is bad. I think this deck is probably pretty good.
Yeah. I like that we can beat Nif Bizzet after our opponent cheats 1 into play.
Yes. I do think that even if the battle cards are bad, but like even before, right?
Yeah.
I really do think that Atraxa will take over Niv Mizzet's slot.
Sure. It's just a little bit of like you can't BT into it, right? Or BTL into it, but it will find you more cards, just a bigger threat.
Yeah, and you don't have to play all the gold cards, and your mana base can take a little bit more of a break, right?
It gives you more flexibility too, so that like you're not limited
by Leyline Binding, right? You can find Leyline Binding off of Atraxa.
Yeah,
I just think that like like maybe Niv Mizzet will stick around just for the culture, right? But like
Yeah,
this is like the 7/7 flying vigilance death vessel. I think body is better,
yeah.
and it's going to draw you more cards on average, I think, than Niv Mizzet will,
Hmm.
and you don't have to play as many like really weird cards.
Well, at bare minimum sees more cards than Niv Mizzet, so
No, 10.
is Niv Mizzet also 10?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because the meme is that you can find all 10 guilds. And
Oh, okay, sure.
yeah, you cannot draw all of 10 attract, can you? Each card type,
One, two,
artifact,
three,
battle,
four,
creature,
five, six,
enchantment,
7, 8, 9.
planeswalker, sorcery. And then tribal's not on here, right?
No,
So you can't ever get all 10 cards with Grand Unifier.
yeah,
You'll
which is
never be
fine
able
because
to,
it'll give you some flexibility.
right, for sure.
They said that tribal is still a card type. It's just not mentioned on this.
Right, but even if you count it, it makes 9, right?
Yeah.
The one thing I don't understand, help me understand this, guys, is I don't understand the Fires of Invention.
Um,
Like, what are we trying to do with that?
I just assumed that card is good, but you're right.
It definitely feels like we'd rather be on more of any other kind of answer, potentially like a delve spell since we're playing blue, or
I think we
another
just want to
spell.
be on Leyline Binding, right?
What's that?
Just be on Leyline
Should be
Binding.
leyline binding, I think. Yeah, something like that. We can't
Yeah.
get the full reduction on leyline binding, but that would be like a good. It's a
Fire-
good answer. Cost
Yeah,
two
it's
is fine.
definitely. Yeah.
Oh wait, this deck's mana base. Did you look at this mana base?
Yeah.
The Mavis is pretty bunk.
This mana base does not actually intend to ever cast Atraxa.
No,
No.
we're just reanimating it,
Right. Okay, that makes
Just-
sense.
transmogrifying into it. Yeah.
Okay.
My
With
thing
that
is,
being said, my rating stays the same, but it's gone down a little bit in my heart.
Yeah.
We
My-
would
my
fire
thi-
into it or something.
my thing with fires is like I don't like fires here, especially because we're not playing Yorion. Yorion is great with fires, so we can like play our free spells. The second one being Yorion to blink our fires out and then use our mana to start casting more things.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what fires feels like. We're just here. Fires is for the culture of this deck.
Fire into the culture. I like this deck otherwise. I think getting into like a big cool monster that's going to get you a lot of card
Yeah.
advantage would be very tough to deal with.
I mean, is fires just to cast Atraxa when it's just stuck in our hand?
Seems
We
like
have
that's
7 land in play.
we've already played around with like Fire Prophecy to get rid of the Atraxas if we need to.
Yeah.
You get to play other stuff. Like I think you could potentially either play like some number of because another way you could take the VAT deck is either black or sorry, it's either red or green and play
Sure.
Titan of Industry. And Titan of Industry, I think, is another card that could be worth getting into. I mean, you always want to have the one that you're targeting. So if we want Atraxa, we can go for Atraxa, but it gives us more things and we can actually cast it. So yeah, I think fires could easily be ley line binding. I think that's almost a 1/4 replacement. We'd probably need to mix the mana base up a little bit more, but I think that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Or some other creature generating thing to like Crew3's Chariot. Who knows?
Yeah. So yeah. Let's see here. How do I want to rate this one? I'm gonna give this one a. I'm gonna give this a. I mean, it's close, but I just like the fires is real wonky here. And I'm gonna go ahead and give this a. I'm gonna give this a Luca -2 out of 5 starting loyalty.
Yeah, I like it.
It's cute. Chris?
I mean, I'm gonna go with the obvious one. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of the 7 mana cost of Atraxa.
Sounds good. Do we have any more?
No, it was our last one. So that will do it for Does It Slap. We might bring this back again. So keep an eye out on the Patreon channel. We'll probably bring some back for the regular listeners at large too. So I do kind of Does It Slap in here for slow weeks like this. So let's go ahead and take it on over to the Patreon mailbag to end things off real quick. As besides playing MTG.com, we have our World Sports Patreon, patreon.com/crew3mtg. Got some great tiers available to all the viewers there. But any tier of Patreon does get access to the couple of exclusive patron channels in our Discord. One of them being the one where we talk to the patrons directly and ask them, hey, send us some deck lists to show on the podcast. The other is the Patreon mailbag, where once a week we take a Patreon question and answer it And if you want to join the Patreon there, your question sounds something like this. This week's episode comes from Dwayne Lesnar, and if that isn't the scariest name in wrestling I've ever heard, just run. Is there anything on the stack?
Is the stack empty?
Actually, can we put my 2 Shieldred triggers on the stack now?
Only after I resolve my curled collected company.
That's right.
That's fine. Yeah. We have to go back. We have to go back and put the Shieldred triggers on the stack.
Okay, cool. Judge?
Judge?
Oh, takesies backsies rules. That's amazing.
Takesies backsies. Man,
No. Did you draw a card already?
We're hopeful. I think there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of just wackiness right now. We've had to do things like that in the past. I mean, there's been weird situations involving like day and night in the past. Was like, no, wait, we have to instantly put these triggers on the stack now. You know. Like,
all right, hold on. I have actively 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks of cards on my desk.
Okay.
Where I can pick a number.
3.
Huh. It's a foil perimeter patrol.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's on the stack right now.
What was the best hit?
The altered Luffy.
Which, man, if you're watching the video episode, you could see.
Yeah.
There we go.
All
Crew in 3D.
Well,
that is Crew 3D coming to IMAX near you.
That will do it for this week's episode of Crew 3. I want to thank everyone again for our Patreon supporters. And if you're not a Patreon supporter, just for listening and tuning in every week. We love doing this show. Helps us let us know we're doing a good job. We see all of those nice view numbers coming in. So that'll do it for this week's episode. Gentlemen, where can they find you on the socials?
You could find me what's my Twitter handle? At @it's_Christmas. And the Christmas has no T. When Twitter stops being a flaming pile, I'll start using it a little more. We'll
never see you on Twitter again.
That's right. I will also be in the C-suite of Nate's mom's company. So hopefully, sponsorship incoming. So you can find me
you on Hive
when he launches.
We don't talk about that anymore, Ricky.
You can find me on Twitter @AlsoSteve. You can also find me on Twitch there's no there, just at twitch.tv/Crew3MTG. I try to stream at least once a week, 6 times a month. That was my New Year's resolution, and we did stream 6 times in January. I think exactly 6. So, got there.
Come use your Twitch. You know what I'm saying? Use it on the boys. Hang out. Tell us what to do.
All right, and of course you can find me at Crew3 Podcast for all of our socials, posting all the toys and things like that I'm wasting my money on constantly. So that's why I need you to sign for the Patreon so I can keep buying toys. As you can see, the wonderful display shelf behind you, and of course
all your offensive material you put in the podcast.
That there's no offensive material in this podcast, sir. Hearsay and slander. And of course, you can find us over on the Crew 3 YouTube channel, Crew3 MTG, where I post the video version of this podcast. And if Ricky stops dodging me, we'll be uploading the progression series again. And I kind of look if the sponsorships keep coming through, we can pay for an editor. I'm gonna try to get back to streaming once a week with Ricky. We'll do like my own stream, right? With Ricky, I mean also streaming once a week alongside.
The problem is like Arena, the update happens like in a week, so I'm itching to play with 1 cards and play some standard. But like until then, it's like I don't want to stream Arena because I don't want to stream like a format that's about to rotate.
Sure.
And then on top of that, it's just sort of like, ugh.
Yeah, Explorer is so close to being Pioneer now. I think I'm just going to start.
It's annoying how close it is.
Yeah,
it's like upsetting, right?
Yeah,
because there's no Phoenix.
Well, yeah, it's just like
you can play Phoenix. You can play those Delve spells though.
Here's Pioneer, but like we took just enough of the good cards out that it's annoying.
Okay, all right, we'll figure it out. But I do want to do some more stuff content wise. And of course, like I said during the Apple Juice break, be sure to check out playingmtg.com for more things like Pioneer content, all other kinds of content available. We'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.